Today we're gonna try to beat Elite Bloonarius on Candy Falls using just the 2 small loops. We start the game by placing our hero Geraldo and our free dart monkey and then save up to get the NFT. After that we start working on a bloon trap for some more early game farming. The bloon trap is gonna be in the left loop so that later I can get a rubber to gold in the right loop to gold the bloons before they enter the trap without having the NG being able to attack the bloons with his nail guns. For camo, we don't have space to place a camo village, but we do have Geraldo's camo pots that we can use on the NG. After getting the rubber to gold, I tried adding a glue, but turns out that the rubber to gold attacks so much faster since recent updates that when placed in a loop like this, it golds everything anyway, and slowing down the bloons more just means the alk will get more pops, so I got rid of the glue again. For the first boss here, I wanted a cheap solution so that I wouldn't need to sell my NFT. First I tried using the Elite Defender, but that didn't work out too well. And next I tried the Plasma Accelerator paired with a 100 ice, a 012 glue, and 4 creepy idols. This way, once I reach round 42, I can use the regrow bloons towards the end of the round to create a regrow farm that I can keep under control by focusing the Plasma Accelerator on the bloons whenever I see the amount of bloons getting out of hand. By doing this, I can beat the boss on round 42 instead of just letting the rounds pass, and that means I'll be able to get my bloon trap and rubber to gold back sooner and make more money from the regular rounds. This was a bit annoying, and killing the boss using just the Plasma Accelerator definitely took a while. For the last 2 skulls, the Plasma Accelerator was struggling to take out the rushes in time, so I used blade traps to take them out, which worked fine since it's a decent bit away from my regrow bloons, so it won't end the regrow farm. Eventually I took down the boss and ended the round so we could go back to farming again. The farming starts out the exact same way as before, with 1 bloon trap and 1 rubber to gold. After a while I needed to add a second trap in order to survive, but soon after that I had enough cash to sell one of them and upgrade the first one to XL trap. I don't add any middle path snipers or druids to make money from their abilities at this point, because the amount of pops that they would steal from the trap and rubber to gold would result in more cash being lost than earned. Sometimes, if I was out of camo pots, I would put down a 003 wizard to decamo the bloons instead, and that also allows the alk to gold them before they go into the trap. And that's it up until tier 2, and this tier is gonna be even more annoying than the first one. Here, we're gonna need to keep the trap for defense, get an Elite Defender set to strong to attack the boss at all times, a glue and 3 creepy idols for stalling, and finally a Plasma Accelerator to control the leaks. So basically, we're gonna be perma-stalling round 61 regrow bloons just like last time. The trap will take care of the BFB rushes that Bloonarius sends out each skull, the sniper damages the boss, and the dartling will be used to both keep the regrow bloons in check and also take out the regular bloons that the boss scatters throughout the map. The scattered bloons will sometimes spawn past the trap, so we need to use the Plasma Accelerator to take them out, but we also want to leak some small bloons every once in a while to trigger the sniper's bonus attack speed for 7 seconds. On top of all that, we also have to micro the trap sometimes to deal with all of the BFBs for the later skulls, so there's quite a bit going on in this tier. I made several intentional leaks, sometimes more than intended, so towards the end of the fight I'm down to just 1 life remaining, so I'm not gonna leak anything more. But after a good while we finally took down the boss on round 61, and now we go back to farming once again. After farming for a few rounds, I really wanted to try out something different, so I switched sides for my XL trap and gave an upgraded camo pod to my alk to increase its range so it could still gold the bloons before entering the trap, and then I got a tier 4 middle path Desperado. I wanted to try using the ability to mark bloons and Moabs just before they enter the trap to add another cash multiplier, but honestly I'm not sure how good the results were with this, so eventually I sold it and I got an ultra boost instead to start giving stacks to a dartling gunner to prep for tier 3, and also made sure to stall round 79 to get more stacks. For this tier, we get a 420 glue up top and an absolute 0 with refreeze and a 012 glue down below. I also camo pass my top path glue and get a Garifier on the NG and place a Geraldo glue just to the right of them. On top of this, I'm also going to use some Geraldo spikes because some bloons are going to get past the left side loop because now Bloonarius scatters ceramics, and when they land as close to the exit as they can, they land just barely outside the range of my left loop tower, so sometimes they will get through, and when this happens is RNG dependent. The absolute 0 does a pretty good job stalling, so once more I'm gonna take out the boss in just a few rounds. I keep using the ultra boost on the MAD and keep using the MAD ability as often as I can, while also being careful to not accidentally damage the bloons that the ice is stalling. The MAD takes down the boss in a reasonable amount of time, and once it's done I can kill the stall and go back to farming. Now I've added an elite sniper and also a base ninja, and I keep my ultra boost to give 10 stacks to the ninja as well as my bloon trap and even a couple of stacks to the alk. Once I've done that, I sell my ultra boost and replace it with yet another sniper, and I also upgrade my ninja to master bomber to start farming pops for the eventual ninja paragon, and we keep going like this until tier 4. Now, here is where I ran into some trouble. During the fight, I sell my snipers and I replace them with ninjas and tried getting as much cash and pops as possible before getting the paragon. Some rounds, like 103, proved to be a bit annoying because I was getting overrun by a lot of Moabs, but by selling my alk and getting a temporary absolute 0, it worked out. On my first attempt, I got a degree 22 ninja paragon, which took out tier 4 very easily, but the final tier was a whole different story. For the final tier, I added a Monarch of Storms with my last bit of cash to help out against any bads that pop late, but even that would not be enough. Even the second to last skull was a big problem because I couldn't pop the bads open in time. I just simply needed more boss damage. So I went back to tier 4, this time I waited longer before getting the paragon by using a Ray of Doom to defend, and this time I also added one paragon totem, and this got me 2 more degrees to my paragon. Once again it took out tier 4 very easily, but then when it was time for tier 5, once again I was not even close. Attempt number 3, this time I got 2 paragon totems and managed to add yet another 3 degrees for a degree 27 ninja paragon. On tier 5 this time, I tried getting some debuffs with the cash I had made between tier 4 and tier 5, but once again I'm dead to the second to last skull. So I try once more going back to tier 4, and this time when I get the paragon I skip on injecting the final 8k I have left over because that didn't end up contributing to another degree, so I use that cash to get started sniper farming during tier 4, and I keep that sniper farm all the way into tier 5. Here I use my sniper abilities one last time, sell them, and then buy the MAD and target the boss to get some extra damage in. Then, using the cash I get from regular rounds, I get an overclock for my MAD as soon as possible. Now for the final 2 skulls. Previously I did use some rejuve potions for my sniper farming and to squeeze out more MAD abilities during this kill, but then I held off on using them to stack up 2 rejuves that I can use for the final 2 rushes so I can have 2 MAD abilities per rush. The first rush went down very easily because not only did I use a rejuve, but I also popped the skull a lot earlier due to all the damage the MAD had done on the boss. And now for the final skull, this one I tried again and again and again, and I got very close, but it didn't seem to work. Even though I used 2 MAD abilities while having the overclock on the MAD, it just didn't work. The final tiny bit of extra damage that I needed came from adding a 320 alk to buff the MAD. That little buff resulted in me managing to take down the final rush, and now it was just to finish the final bit of HP on the boss, and then Elite Bloonarius had been taken down using just the 2 tiny loops. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.